All right, we're going to talk about how you could have made 700% on a US Steel intraday bottom. Could have you done it in 50 minutes? Is this an April Fool's joke? Our Health Beat number 2 show is here. Our game plan in Forex as well as our full stock analysis. I am Mark Melnick and this is the Newsbeat show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat show. Is this an April Fool's joke? Could have you made 700% on a US Steel intraday bottom? You could have. Did I make it? No, not personally. But let me show you exactly what happened and how a lot of us made 3, 4, 500%, even though 700% was a very maximum type call. Let's take it right over to the charts. Very simple methodology. I use it on the Newsbeat show all the time. Nice little, here's a 5 minute of letter X. Now we're watching letter X in the morning. If you actually want to see, it's kind of funny what our morning game plan actually had. We were actually watching it in the morning. And as I basically said, and I'll just highlight it here. Here are the names we were potentially watching for an intraday long. We give the game plan ahead of time. And I was speaking about letter X in the morning right over here. And we're basically saying how this name could potentially pop because it was a very beaten up name and it got upgraded. So we're not dealing with a name that's moving relative to the market. Fact remains, the stock went from 47 and change all the way down to 32 and change. The stock lost a third of its value. The market didn't lose a third of its value. Letter X lost a third of its value. So what happened here? What happened with letter X? How did it lose a third of its value? I thought these tariffs were supposed to be good. They are, ladies and gentlemen. But here's the problem. Here is the problem, and this is why the Newsbeat show's analysis I feel sometimes is so important, is because we figured out if we're putting tariffs on Chinese steel and aluminum, in this case, let's talk about the 25% or whatever, 20% steel tax, whatever number that is, your things are going to cost more. Your aluminum cans of Coke with the aluminum tariff will cost more. Your cars will cost more. Everything will cost more. And yes, U.S. Steel will make more money when they sell things, but one thing is not being mentioned. The fact that if fewer people are buying these steel cars, these steel refrigerators, you get it. All the products in the world that you can imagine that are made with steel, if fewer people are buying it, is that going to offset the profits that letter X makes? And the answer is, you're damn right it is. What are you kidding me? First of all, in America, 70% of the steel products are being sold by American steel companies. So forget about the illusion that China sells us 90% of our steel and we just get all this steel from China. No, that is the farthest thing from the truth. However, letter X was a beaten up name and a victim of this steel tariff. And yes, while we were bearish going into the tariff, because yes, it will make more money for every ton of steel. That's how they measure them. For every ton of steel that's sold, you're selling less tonnage. Less tonnage, less profits. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather sell a million pizza pies at $1 profit each, or would you rather sell 100,000 pizza pies at a $5 profit each? Now, granted, that is not a correlated analogy, but you get the picture. One, you make $1 million. The other, you make 500,000. Doesn't matter how many you sold, does it now? Doesn't matter, right? So an analyst comes out and they upgrade letter X. So we're watching in the pre-market. So what do? This is the name I attack in real time. So in real time, I'm like, okay, guys, I'm buying the $35 calls right now at 12 cents. I hit a market order. It was 11 by 13, the bid and offer and the options. They were expiring that day. Yes, Thursday, because Friday there was no trading. So Thursday was options expiration last week. And we literally bought right over here the $35 call. Some of you probably got 13 cents. I didn't see many prints after 12, so I think somebody in the room might have caught 11. I think 11 was the low on it, or maybe it was my 12. It was one of those numbers. But here's the bottom line. What happened is, in the next 50 minutes, these options went up 700% in value. They went up 700% in value. Now, I'm not saying you caught 700% again, but a lot of you guys caught 200, 300, 400, 500%. I know I was selling I sold my last things when it was over 35.20. I sold mine in the 50, so I caught like 450% on my last sale. And it's moves like this in which really just made it was a slow day. It was I was like, oh God, the market's going up, down, confusing. That is why quality is better than quantity. Again, I had a chance to speak over with some of my colleagues and traders that I have a lot of respect for. And we're talking about the market, and I hear both sides of the story. It's either I got really lucky and I was long this name and it just happened to move up, thankfully, with the market, or I'm getting chopped around and I'm churning and I'm losing money. And really, it's more of like a 20-80 split, meaning 20% of the people feel like they're getting lucky making money and like 80% feel like they're losing. And I'm just listening to all these online videos and stuff, and it's driving me crazy because in this market, this is considered an extremely hard environment to read. It's very easy for somebody to take a chart and say you could have done this. It's very easy for somebody to say, like if you use this, for example, like on my chart, you have pivot points or moving averages, and say, oh yeah, pivot points and moving averages, those are lagging indicators, which they are, so they don't work. Are you tired of using pivot points and moving averages, ladies and gentlemen, and being unable to call the bottoms? Well, sign up here today. And I listen to this stuff and I'm like, are these people kidding me? You're telling me moving averages are lagging indicators? Here's the deal. There's a lot of technical analysis that I don't use, like everything you see on my chart, like Fibonacci's, Bollinger Bands. Are they effective? You're damn right they are. Here's the deal when it comes to technical analysis in this market. If you don't know how to use a certain indicator, it's not because the indicator sucks, it's because you haven't figured out a way to make money off it. And you didn't put in the time, and you didn't put in the effort, and you can't differentiate between when these support levels work and when they don't work, and you don't know how to do it 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 times. That's all it means. That's all it means. So, you're telling me just randomly I came to letter X and said, all right, guys, I'm buying at the dead low of the pullback right before the stock exploded up. You think that's a coincidence? You think that's a coincidence? Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. Will I be wrong on some of these trades? Yeah. Will I be right over 70% of the time? Yeah. So, when you're in the market right now, you have to figure out things that are really just working right now. Now, a lot of these trades are very quick. I've been very scalpy in this market. I've been very quick ins and out. Why? Because we've been drifting down and everybody loves going long in a bull market. So what happens when you have a bearish move in the most bullish market in history? Do you open up short heavy? Yeah, you could look at a chart and there'll be people who will talk to you like that's what you should have been doing. And that's how I know they're just not real traders. That's how I know they're just not real traders. Because I look at this and it's like, well, yeah, you see you got this bearish engulfing bar right here in the Qs. And what you could have done is you could have shorted there and you could have left the stop at the high and you could have just kept riding this down, 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 down. Look at all those red bars and you would have crushed it. You would have made millions of dollars. And I stop and I hesitate and I'm like, what? And I'm just using these as random examples because just be very, very careful for the garbage you're listening to. If you're in this room, we avoid all that and that's great. And you know that you're not subject to that kind of garbage talk. But if you're outside this room and you're listening in on Facebook or YouTube, I'm not telling you to sign up for this room. I'm telling you be careful. Be careful in this market environment. Consistency. I make money almost every day. I call out all my trades live in real time with the prices, where I entered, where I'm buying, always. When it comes to trading shares of stock, you see it on my screen. There's no hiding. So you have to realize some people know what they're talking about, and some people can act like they know what they're talking about. And why I'm bringing this up is this is not a cocky argument. This is not I'm patting somebody on the back. This is just talking about what you have to do in this market. And what you have to do in this market is your entry is going to be paramount to your consistency. Entry, 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 entry. If you buy a $50 stock and it goes down $2 to 48 and then goes up $10 to 58, you probably lost money on that trade if you bought it at 50. How many of you are a victim of that? And this is the type of market that will chew you up. But guess what? I have great news. We are going to get a chance where we could just go long and sit in a bunch of calls. When is that going to happen? I don't know, but I can show you where I am actually going to take that risk. So you see here the triple Qs. You see the daily here. You see this 200 moving average? Remember when we were over here, I was talking about hitting this 200 moving average, right? On Monday, if you listen from last Monday, I said we were going to break 158.43 by the coming week. By the week actually coming up now, I thought we were going to break 158.43. Keep in mind the Qs closed at 164.40. Not, I was predicting another $6 drop. And I thought it would happen by the end of this week coming up. It actually happened the very next day on Tuesday, March 27th. I was like, oh, okay. So right now this market is chewing us down. What is going to happen, in my humble technical opinion? We're going to come down here. We're going to test under 153 in the Qs. The 200 moving average is slowly climbing up. We're going to blip through the 200 moving average. We're either going to go from like 151.5 to 152, right around that range, and then I'm opening up serious amount of calls. That's where I'm going to open up 40, 50, 60, $70,000 worth of call options. Why? Because that is the prudent, smart thing to do, in my humble technical opinion. That's what I'm going to do. And you know what? I don't care about all this garbage here. This is blah, blah, red, 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 red. You know what? I was going long every single one of these days. Yeah, I know I caught the Amazon short. That was really fun. Mostly I was going long on every single one of these days, making money every single one of these days. Doesn't matter. Red, red, green, red, red, green. I'm going long almost every day. And yeah, I get it. I called the top of Amazon too for a short, but that was the exception. The majority of my trades were longs. And you might ask, why, Mark? This is a down market. Why are the majority of your trades long? It's because of the analyst. The analysts dictate my next moves. If the analysts were coming out downgrading all these names, downgrading Facebook, downgrading Amazon, Netflix, Google, all these other names, I would be the first one to short. But X had positive news. That's why I wanted to go long. And that's why we caught the long. And that's why not only did we catch the long, but we caught the dead bottom at 1020 before the option calls went up 700%. And if you bought the 35 and a halves, the strike higher, you could have made like 2,000% or something stupid. It was obnoxious. I'm talking about the calls I actually bought. So don't think for 1 second that, it's hard to make money to the long side in this market. It isn't. In fact, I have had more consistency going long in this down market than I've had in February. I have a higher hit rate. Yeah, it's good when during the FOMC week we're able to call the bottom of Facebook in a bunch of days. And that we were able to swing. And I get it. It's a little different now. Your strategy has to adjust with the market. You buy a bunch of options, you're up 10%, you're up 20%, take it. It's a Friday. You buy some options at 12 cents, you're up 100%, you're up 200%, you're up 300%, you're up 400%, take it. Doesn't matter that it went up 700%. Who cares? Are you going to cry yourself to sleep at night because your options moved 700% and you took 100%? Are you going to feel stupid? I mean, come on. We make some alpha, we move on. Now, if I come in tomorrow and these analysts start downgrading these names, oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah, I'll be all over this thing. And we'll call real-time shorts in real time just like we do every day. I can't wait for that, ladies and gentlemen. That's That's actually not true. I can wait for it, but I can't wait for it in terms of how excited I am when the analysts start finally doing it, is what I meant to say. Don't get suckered. I know you guys are probably looking at your long term portfolios and being like, oh, God, I gave up all of my earnings for this year, or my February earnings all wiped away by this March move. I get it. It's not easy. And keep in mind, anytime you ask me my thoughts on a stock, I'm going to give you where I think the algorithms are going to push next. Always. I will always tell you where I feel the algos are going to push the stock next. It's never personal for me, ever. Always remember that. Never, ever personal. The market is never personal. The market doesn't know you. The market doesn't know me. But if you follow me on this path, what's going to happen with this down move is what happened last time with this down move. And let me tell you why you guys are in for a magical treat. And why is because you know how much money we made when the market did this? You know how many great calls we had? You know how many great early news names we had after we plummeted down in early February and bounced from our February 9 lows? You know how much, you know how well we did in the market? So now look at it. We're plummeting again. You know, move from 175 to 156. We dropped 20 points in the Qs in a matter of 2.5 weeks. Yeah, that's tremendous. Let it go down. Let the market do its thing. Make your intraday money. Don't feel you have to be glued to your screen all day. Trade 9:30 to 11:30. Take it slow after that. Start looking at overnight plays. Start setting support levels. We're going to find a way to make money. And when this news comes back, we are going to hit this market so hard. But I mean so hard, you're going to be like, yeah, I remember Mark on the Newsbeat show. He was talking about it, and yup, here it is. That's what you're going to tell yourself. So get excited, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know when this news flow is going to come back, but the last time it came back after being dead for a while in January, if you remember, was right after this February crash. And look, similar type of down move, right? Similar type of crash move in the market here where we're dropping 20 points. This is going to be paramount to news flow. And guess what? Do you think you're going to hear this news flow earlier than here anywhere else? Probably not. And that's why we're going to, and that's why I'm super confident that you guys are going to have an amazing P&L once this market smoke clears. In the meanwhile, let's make some money on the intraday. Moving on along. Yeah, Mark, tell me how you really feel about the market here. Right? Told you how I felt. Healthbeat number 2 is here. You want to go on YouTube, type in Healthbeat. You want to go on T3 Life's Facebook, type in Healthbeat. We have a new thing, basically on the what we covered in the Healthbeat show. Number 2 is we basically were talking about organic celery, and I talk about like certain ways to use it. So let me tell you the goal with all this organic food. I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, Mark, these organic blueberries, you know, they're delicious. I feel better. I've gotten so much positive feedback from you guys on it already, but they are like a little expensive, you know, comparatively to a normal blueberry. They're a little expensive. I mean, you can easily drop, you know, $40, $30, $40 a month taking care of you and your family on organic blueberries, depending on the size of your family. Or if you're doing it alone, I'm sure you could drop $15, $20. I get it. Everybody doesn't have an extra $15, $20 on them. So what I did now is I'm talking about something that's a lot cheaper. And again, I really like bringing cost-effective solutions. And we talk about how, you know, certain scientific studies show the difference between supplementation, like certain supplements. Certain supplements are great. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of great supplements out there, but there are even more garbage supplements out there. So it depends on what kind of supplement you're taking. We go over it. Do you guys experience that crash? You guys know what I'm talking about. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. You're like, oh my God, I've been staring at this damn screen all day. You guys feel that way? You do? Guess what? We try to scientifically describe why you're feeling that way. We try to scientifically tackle why you're feeling that way, and we're trying to do it all naturally here. So organic celery, I go to my local store here in Jersey, my local Wegmans. They have it for $1.99 for a bunch of organic celery. I saw some place in the city that's selling it for $2.50 for a bunch. It's not expensive. If you actually think about investing in yourself and your energy throughout the day, I always had chronic fatigue. I was working at a firm. I would literally at 12 o'clock go outside, go to my car, and sleep for like an hour, hour and a half in the car. And then I would come back up to work, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so ripped, exhausted. I just was so tired. I didn't know how I was able to move every day. And I suffered with this probably for around 15 years. And all I had to do was do something so simple. So if you want to watch the Health Beat Show, we go into everything about it and we talk exclusively about it. I think you guys will enjoy it. And definitely, if you like it, thumbs it up. You don't like it, thumbs it down. It's a new thing that I'm experimenting with. And if we get enough positive feedback, I'll do another show. And yeah, we'll just take it from there. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to share with you our Forex and game plan. So very simple game plan here today. We're going to be talking about RSP Permium. It's a simple oil company. It's coming back here to all-time highs. All-time highs here are 47.17. That was the high made on Wednesday. You pulled in a little. Now you're bouncing back up. I'm going to look for RSP Permian to potentially break this all-time high and head higher. Very bullish name, very bullish setup. Nice spike in the exponential 8 off the gap up. And we'll see if this one could go higher. You guys interested in my Forex names? Well, here you go. Here, let me just do it like this. So actually, hold on. There we go. Now you guys can see it all. You guys got, it's literally a screenshot from my software. You guys get my buy or sell orders. These are buy orders. You get my size. These are standard lots. You get the currency pairing I'm trying to bid on. You get the price of where I'm bidding on. You get the stop loss of where my stop loss is. And you get my take profit level of where I set my take profit at. So you could go ahead and screenshot that right now if that is what you're interested in. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to our full stock analysis. That is for members only. And if you're interested in the Newsbeat live room, I think it's a $7 trial for is it a month? Do you get a month for $7 or a week or something? Whatever it is, the link will be in the description. You could check us out. We are the fastest growing trading room in the nation. Happy trading, make money, and we will see you guys next time on the Newsbeat show and the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.